It is time to make some kale soup, or I'm going to do Caldo Verde. And here's my kale. It is calling to be used. I've been keeping an eye on them, and we had a couple days some rain, and they look beautiful. So I'm going to pick some and make some Caldo Verde. It is all my kale I picked for my Caldo Verde today. That's what we're gonna have. This kale is calling my name. Welcome friends to my kitchen. Bem-vindos à minha cozinha. What am I doing? I had a lot of kale in my yard, and I've been craving some Caldo Verde, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna make some Caldo Verde for me, for a couple friends, and for my in-laws. And I'm also making bulgelicht. I think it'll go good with the Caldo Verde. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I already cut some of my kale here, and I'm gonna start by putting my potatoes cooking. This is one dish that no matter what time of the year I make, everybody loves it because it's such a light soup, but at the same time it's so healthy, and you can do however you want it. My mom used to make this sometimes for Lent because she wouldn't put no meat, and so, but I'm not making this for Lent. So I have here maybe about 7 to 8 large potatoes that I cut it into chunks. I have one whole onion that I cut it into chunks. You don't need to chop it because we're gonna blend all this. And then maybe about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, 3 teaspoons of salt, and because I want this to be more flavored, I'm gonna add chicken. I'm gonna use chicken stock. My mom used to use water, but I want this to be flavored, so I'm gonna use a whole box of chicken stock and probably add some more water too. This is a 48 ounce of chicken stock, but you want it enough to cover all the potatoes. And now I'm gonna boil all this. We're gonna need some olive oil. This is Portuguese olive oil. I cannot use any other olive oil but the Portuguese. It does not taste the same way. So I'm gonna show you how I cut my kale. This kale has to be cut real fine because that's what the Caldo Verde does. And this is kale from my yard, and I just take the main stalk because it's too fibrous, it's too hard. I washed it, and now I stack them on top of each other and I roll them like a cigar. I'm gonna roll the whole kale, and then I'm gonna start cutting real fine. Watch your fingers. We don't need special tools. I know some of my friends that had a special tool to do this. We don't need it. Do as fine as you can, and that's fine. Like I said, every time I make this soup, everybody just raves about it. I even have people order for this soup. That's how good it is. Because it's so light, but it's filling, and it's healthy. So, anyway, and this is what I have. I have all this kale. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of it, but my kale was calling me to be picked. So, I went to town. I loved kale soup. I love this Caldo Verde. There's nothing like it. So anyway, so I'm gonna leave this here and then wait for my potatoes, and then I'm gonna slice my linguiça. I have 2 links of linguiça, And I'm gonna cut it into little small discs. And then I'm gonna fry this a little bit. And the reason I fry it is I want to render some of that fat, and then we add the fat into the soup. But you can just add the linguica into the soup, it will cut it if you don't want to go that extra step. But I always do it. My mom never used to put linguica. I don't remember her putting linguica or chorizo in our Caldo Verde. But this is a soup that if you're having some friends over, it's a very light soup, but at the same time it has such a good presentation. You will impress your friends if you make this soup. And again, I don't care if it's summertime, winter, I can eat this soup anytime. And all my kids love this soup. We were brought up eating this soup. I made it when my kids were small. They love anything with kale. So anyway, so I'm gonna just cut, and I have 2 links of linguica here. This is enough. I usually sometimes cut them into smaller pieces, but this time I'm gonna leave them a little bit whole, because it kind of has a good presentation when you put it in the soup and you see the little wheels. And I'm just gonna put it in a frying pan and just fry it a little bit, not much. Okay friends, my potatoes are done, and I'm gonna use my immersion blender and blend all this together. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can put it in your blender or food processor. You want all this pureed. Well, you don't want no chunks of potato or anything. This was the best investment. In no time it's done. And I'm going to add a little bit more water, because it's going to be too thick as it is. And all that kale is in there. Okay, I'm going to add probably 4 cups of water. Like I said, I know this will be thick and the consistency that I want. And I'm gonna let this kale cook. I'm gonna put a little bit of black pepper. That's optional. You do you. And I'm gonna add some Portuguese olive oil. Maybe about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm gonna let this come to a simmer and let that kale cook. Okay friends, I'm gonna add my linguica now, all of it, and I'm gonna rinse the bowl because much of that flavor. Mix this, and I'm going to taste for salt. I haven't put no salt, only what I put with the potatoes. Don't need no salt. Perfect. And I'm going to let this cook another maybe 10 minutes. That kale is still not cooked all the way. Okay friends, my soup is done. And it smells so good. And look, all this kale. I love it. So I'm gonna put just a little bit. I just ate a little bit a while ago. I thought it was my lunch, my breakfast. It was already lunchtime. And some of that kale. And I want some linguica pieces. And then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of Portuguese olive oil all over again. And I want to show you this. Wish you could smell. Look at this soup. So now I'm going to try this. It is so good. You can eat this any time of the day. I can eat this any time of the day. I already have this recipe on my channel, but because I had so much kale, I wanted to show it because I made the buldestan we're going to eat with this. So that's why I put this video out. So if you haven't checked those videos or that recipe, I will leave it in the description again, the same recipe. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Give me some thumbs up. Share my videos on your social media and with your friends and with your family. And until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.